Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Wrestling Unlimited. So last night, WWE Netflix did release all 5 episodes of the behind the scenes show WWE Unreal. Right here, I've got a full breakdown of episode 1 as it followed everything leading up from like December to the January 6th Raw debut on Netflix. So let's break this down scene by scene and tell you exactly what went down. So the show kicks off with Triple H pulling up to the WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, and talking about the business, and then talking about his name, Paul, which is something new, as people just really, in the last couple of years, started calling him Paul. He then says, "My name is Paul Levesque. Some call me Hunter, Triple H, Trips," and notes that 20 years ago, you never talked about somebody outside of their character. Yet, the world has changed. Now, names are kind of a big thing on this show as far as what's your government name and what's your wrestling name. He then starts talking about the business and how, everything works and how you have all this great talent, but you're limited on the amount of spots you have. You have more talent than spots available on the card. We then cut to Georgia and Cody Rhodes' house. Cody is there as his daughter and wife do enter the house, and they start decorating for Christmas. They put up a Shawn Michaels gingerbread ornament on the tree, and he makes a joke saying it's called the Sweet Chin Music because he's sweet as gingerbread. Cody and Brandy then talk about how Liberty, their daughter, thinks Cody is a professional dancer based off of like the entrances and the pageantry of pro wrestling. Cody then talks about how at the time he's WWE champion. Triple H says that Cody is the closest thing they have right now to a pure babyface, and that is actually the most difficult thing to do in this business. He goes on to mention, it's easy to be a heel. It's easy to talk crap and do the wrong thing, but it's not as easy to always do the right thing and win the right way. Triple H is then shown backstage with Cody Rhodes after WrestleMania 40, telling him you got to be as white meat as you can going forward. Cody then talks about how he is lucky that he found his wife in wrestling and that she knows the business. They then show footage of the two in Impact Wrestling, and he says if his wife didn't know the business, well, she probably would have left him by now. Cody then starts to get emotional about being called the face of the company, as that is something that he's always wanted to be, but didn't actually think he could be. We then head to Stamford and the WWE headquarters once again. This time we get different shots of inside the building. Triple H talks about the Raw on Netflix debut as he's entering the writer's room to go over ideas for that show. WWE Senior Vice President Ed Koskey talks about how Triple H, being a former wrestler, actually helps him in leading the creative side of this business. They talk about how Cody really wants to be on the January 6th Raw, but really has no role on the January 6th Raw. They talk about how Cody feels like the quarterback of the company, and with the Raw debut on Netflix being such a big deal, he wants to be involved. Triple H then talks about how Cody's the top guy and you got to keep him special, which means, well, not overusing him. They then throw it to a calendar and start talking about you break the year down into seasons, and the season they're in right now is WrestleMania season. It starts on January 6th and, well, goes all the way to WrestleMania. Triple H says that you build your season around your top guys like Cody Rhodes, but now they have John Cena back for his final year, and they have to find out ways to incorporate him as well, which is both a good and a bad thing. We then cut to John Cena. Cena says, and I quote, "My name is John Cena. The name I use in the ring is John Cena. My government name is John Cena." Now, the way he delivered this with his John Cena no emotion way, it popped me. It popped me for sure. Cena then goes on and talks about what wrestling means to him. He says he loves it so much that he would actually do it for free, and now, physically, he can't really do it anymore. Triple H then says that Cody Rhodes pitched something for the January 6th Raw. That Cody pitched that they should have a bunch of heels go and attack John Cena, and then he would come out and make the big save. Yet Triple H wasn't very fond of this idea, stating that we haven't seen Cena in a while, so if the first time back we see Cena, he needs help and needs to be saved, it just doesn't feel right. We then go to Florida, where I meet up with Rhea Ripley at her home. She talks about her real name, Demity Bennett, and talks about her wrestling name, Rhea Ripley. Rhea, the name of a goddess, and Ripley, well, the badass chick from Aliens. You put them all together, RR just made sense. She mentions getting her first WWE tryout back in Australia at the age of 17, but being too young to be signed. She then got another tryout when she was 20, and they signed her. Triple H actually says Rhea Ripley's got it and can be the biggest star in this industry for many years to come. We then get into the whole Liv, Rhea, Dom storyline. Her and Triple H are going over the angle from April 2024 where Liv was going to attack Rhea, and in that angle, Rhea gets injured. Rhea is talking to Triple H about, hey, what do you want from me? Once Liv attacks me, do you want me to fight back? This and that. Take it, what? And Triple H is like, you know what? Just feel it. Just see what she does and go from there. They then show the segment and show her getting hurt. They then show Rhea in the trainer's room, and she tells them, the moment I hit that wall, I knew it was bad. She is seen laying on a table. CM Punk walks in and asks her if she's okay. She tells him what happened. He goes, I had the same injury, and she has him touch his shoulder to show that he's got this big bump there. And if she doesn't get surgery, she'll just have a big bump there where the AC joint and the collarbone no longer connect. Speaking of the injury, Rhea says that it's a grade 3 AC sprain. Her shoulder blade and AC joint are no longer connected. She elected, though, to not have surgery because A, she won't have a scar, and B, she'll be back a lot sooner. No surgery, you're only out for 3 months. Surgery, you're out for 6 months. She said that she could get the surgery in the future if she wants. She just got to live with this big bump on her shoulder. We then cut to Triple H telling her backstage after the injury occurred not to freak out. And actually, they could turn this into something great. She tries to tell him she's sorry, and he tells her not to be. It's a physical business, and we all leave with injuries. We then cut to CM Punk working out at the WWE headquarters. He says, quote, my name is Phil, Punker, Cookie Monster, Pepsi Phil, Black Phillip. My government name is Phil. It's a white accountant's name. They then show old footage of him before he was in WWE, and he says that he has a Hall of Fame career as good as anyone, other than, not main eventing WrestleMania. He then goes into, back in the day, not getting along with Triple H when they were both full-time wrestlers on the roster. He felt Triple H's generation was, quote, looking down on guys like him. And when Triple H became an office suit, he didn't want to hear what he had to say. Triple H actually said, quote, Punk didn't trust me, and I didn't trust Punk. They sort of go into the pipe bomb, with Michael Hayes calling it Phil Brooks getting to speak through the mouth of CM Punk. Punk said that he felt like when he left, if he didn't, they were going to work him till he died. So he had to make the call to leave. They stated that over the years that he was gone, there were talks a couple of times about him coming back, but nothing stuck. Triple H actually said how Punk communicated with others was the big thing that they thought he needed to change before he returned to WWE. He actually stated, quote, the last time that we met and talked with him, I felt like he honestly was different. Seemed like almost in that phone call, we both realized, he's different. I'm different. Let's give it a shot. They then show Punk's return at Survivor Series in Chicago. They also show the iconic Triple H point photo where Punk actually pointed back saying, no one's done this before. Punk says that he wants to be considered a player coach in WWE. And they are then at the WWE headquarters for the Raw on Netflix kickoff event. Punk is shown speaking with senior writer Alex Williams on how his segment is going to go with Seth Rollins and what she expects from him in the segment, as far as like them getting physical, shoving each other, and so forth. Punk then compares Seth Rollins to a 2013 CM Punk, saying he looks and sounds just like him. We then see the interaction between Punk and Rollins at the event, hyping up their match on January 6th. Then we start talking about gorilla position, and this is kind of the things I liked the most about this episode. Gorilla position and how things work during a match. They show gorilla position being put together, and then they give us the layout of gorilla position. 3 tables, 2 more important than the third. There's one table in the corner. That's where Triple H and Bruce Pritchard sit as they run the show. The other table is where Billy Kidman sits. Billy Kidman now times out every show and is in charge of knowing how much time every match and every segment has and kind of trying to make sure they all stick to their time. The producer of the match then sits next to Billy, and they have a lot of things to do. The other table, they didn't really talk about, but that's normally where William Regal sits. They also talked about different producers and really put a focus on Chris Park, former Abyss in TNA. They also mentioned Bobby Roode, Michael Hayes, and Bruce Pritchard. Park then goes into what his role as a producer actually is and doing the different things at one time. He's talking to the truck, giving them cues on spots upcoming in the match so they know where to place the cameras and not miss important spots for the match. He then is also relaying information to the referee that the wrestlers may need to know. Michael Hayes talks about how all these notes are very important, and if they need to tell the wrestler, hey, more energy, slow down, speed up, you got this much time, that goes to the ref, and the ref has to relay that to the wrestler. Now, unlike a normal TV show or a movie, you can just go, cut, hey, come here. Director talks to his or her actor, and then they say, hey, here's my notes, do it again. In wrestling, you can't do that. It's all on the fly, live. Director can't just call cut. There was a spot where Jacob Fatu shoved somebody during a match with Braun Strowman, and Triple H and Bruce got all upset about it, going, "You can't shove fans." And then they're told, "Oh, don't worry about it. Those are extras." And they go, "Oh, okay, they're extras." We then get to January 6th in LA. We show CM Punk with his dog Larry as he's getting ready to leave for the show. We then cut to the arena where Rhea Ripley is there freaking out. She's talking about how she's not feeling good. She feels dehydrated, and she just doesn't really know why she's feeling like this before this big match. She also notes that she had special gear made for the show and ended up not even using it because she didn't feel good about it. She didn't want to put it on, and they made a joke about maybe I ate too much over Christmas and just felt like it didn't fit right. But basically, she was talking about she wasn't in the right headspace throughout the entire day. We then get shots of The Rock with Nikki Bella, Triple H with Pat McAfee, The Undertaker with Stephanie McMahon, Cody Rhodes speaking to Byron Saxton on the red carpet, Roman Reigns with Travis Scott, and then John Cena doing a photo shoot where he said, quote, "You know it's time for the Farewell World Tour when doing this, the you can't see me gesture, hurts your hip or your SI joint." We then see John Cena signing a bunch of posters that will be sold in the venue. We then show fans entering the Intuit Dome and the start of the Jan 6 Raw. The Rock's entrance is shown. He's talking in the ring, mentioning Cody Rhodes. And then we got to John Cena making his entrance. They show highlights of John Cena's segment, including talking about who his final opponent could be and him joining the Royal Rumble. We see The Rock again as he wishes Rhea Ripley good luck in her upcoming match, as Rhea is backstage going over the spots in her match, going over the match itself and trying to memorize and visualize how the match is being put together. She also goes over this with Damian Priest, as she says Priest is somebody that she trusts for advice and tips on her matches. He advises her to, well, be prepared to potentially cut things and don't rush it because less is more. Rhea then says, quote, "It's so weird. I went from having an emotional breakdown and a massive panic attack to hearing my music, walking out there, and being completely fine." Rhea has mentioned in the past that when she hears her music, it calms her down. It eases her nerves, and it just makes her feel some sort of way where nothing can go wrong. We then go into highlights of the Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan match, and at one point we even get a shot of Gorilla showing us that P.D. Williams was the producer of the match, and he's getting time cues and sending time cues as we are in the middle of a commercial break. Liv is told to grab a hold and just hold it for the next 45 seconds or so till they come back. We then get more of the match, including Rhea winning the belt, and then Dom sliding into the ring for a very funny comment from Triple H. When they show Rhea kicking Dom in the balls, Triple H says, quote, "That was deep." And you hear somebody else in the background go, "Yeah, very deep." Now they show Rhea afterwards with her championship, but they never show her with The Undertaker. We know that The Undertaker came out and celebrated with her. They mention it later, but they never show it. Damian Priest later walks up to them and says, "Hey, not like I'm a little jealous or anything." We then cut to Triple H talking to Rhea in the back, and he tells her how proud he is of her. He tells her, quote, "I can't tell you a time when I have felt like, hey, who's the most over person in the company right now? And it's not like you're one of the most over women here, but one of the most over people here. Your aura is off the charts." And you can see on Rhea's face, this really means a lot to her that he said that to her. We then cut to Punk backstage as he walks up on Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser as he calls them his, quote, "brutally honest European friends." Punk makes references to not main eventing WrestleMania 11-12 years ago, but saying that tonight is almost just as big. Punk then says he has anxiety all the time, except when the red light is on and the bell rings. He said, quote, "I have no boss. I'm 100% in control, and I can do whatever the fuck I want." We then move to the main event, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Bruce Pritchard is in the backstage talking to Chris Park, who is the producer of the match. He basically tells Park, "All right, you got this. Get us to 8 o'clock. Bruce then brings up something very interesting, how before they started on Netflix, everyone was assuming, oh, we can go as long as we want. We can go 3 hours, 4 hours. No, that's not the case. That's not true. And as we have seen this year, since they started on Netflix, they go roughly 2.5 hours. Sometimes they've gone a little less. Sometimes they've gone a little more. I think the longest, they've gone, 2:45, and that was maybe once or twice. We get highlights of the Punk Rollins match, and we hear Bruce say it was an awesome match, but way long. Chris Park then is shown asking Billy Kidman, how much time have we gone over? And he tells him, minute 45. Park then looks very nervous as the match continues. He starts relaying things to the referee that they need to get this match done, and Bruce Pritchard talks about the fact that no matter if you're a producer, a writer, or a talent, everyone needs to know how to edit right on the spot. Park then tells the referee to let Punk know that they should cut out the Anaconda Vice spot. Park seems very, very nervous here as he keeps apologizing to Bruce for the match going long. He says, quote, "I'm pushing him, Bruce. I'm pushing him." We see Punk go for a high knee in the corner, and Seth grabs him, reverses it, and hits a buckle bomb. Park gets super excited and goes, buckle bomb, yeah, we're headed home. We then go to the finish of the match, and then they go off the air. Chris Park is then shown once again apologizing to Bruce Pritchard over and over, telling him, hey, we cut a lot of shit out of the match. I'm sorry it went long. And Bruce is like, don't worry, it's fine. It was overbooked and maybe overproduced. William Regal then tells Park, hey, don't beat yourself up over this. As Park tells him, hey, I just wanted to make that man happy with the match we put together. He asks Regal, quote, are you mad at me? And Regal responds with, quote, no, make me happy. You happy with yourself? And Park tells him, yeah, I am. We then see CM Punk after the match, and he talks about being the guy that gets picked for top spots like he did in that night. Triple H then talks briefly at the end here about what this show on January 6th meant to the company and what it means for the talent going forward. So I thought this show was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend episode 1 for anybody. I have seen all 5 episodes. We'll be doing a full breakdown of every episode going forward. And again, I really enjoyed the behind-the-scenes aspect of it, but also the way this show is put together, the production value of this show, the editing of this show, especially once we get to the Royal Rumble matches. We'll talk about that, and so much more. So again, it is on Netflix, all 5 episodes out now, and we'll talk about more in the coming days.